Shane, I love those bold takes, and I also appreciate the fact you didn't steal any of mine. You didn't even hit on the same teams I'm going to talk about. So we're going to be able to hit on a couple different teams here. Shane, let's start. Shane, I'm man enough to admit when I've been wrong. And I think I've been dead wrong about one SEC West team, and I'm about to admit it. Heck, even the last time we were on, Shane, I said, bet the under, one of my favorite unders on the win totals. But I was dead wrong, Shane, and that's them Auburn Tigers, brother. I mean, I think there's a realistic chance Auburn wins minimum 8 football games, 8-4. I mean, I think a 10-win season, I don't think we should be expecting. I don't think we should put that on Hugh in year one, but would not completely stun me. You know, we're counting the bowl game here. I'm not saying 10-2 regular season, but, 9-3 winning a bowl game. I don't think that's completely out of the question, but I'm thinking 8-4, which the over-under debuted at 6.5, so this should be an easy over. But, man, look at some of these guys, Shane. They've added 20 transfers, second most in the entire SEC, headlined by Payton Thorne, the former Michigan State quarterback, and I've started to watch him, Shane. 61% passer, 6,400 passing yards, 7.4 yards per attempt. That is very, very good. He reminds me of, Shane, you remember Beau Wallace down there at Ole Miss who played for Hugh Freeze? I mean, this is very similar of a guy, in my opinion. Not, when you think back to Beau Wallace, very underrated. Never did we sit here and say, well, this guy's All-American and the best quarterback in the SEC, but we don't quite need that, Shane. They're combining Hugh Freeze system with this Baylor offense that's taken college football by storm, the same offense they run at Tennessee and Ole Miss and many other places. That's what they're planning to break out at Auburn. The quarterbacks are highly efficient in this offense. So I think Payton Thorne, major upgrade. Again, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be a Heisman contender or anything, but just a very solid, competent quarterback that raises the ceiling, I think, for the Auburn Tigers. And how about this, Shane? I mean, I've been sleeping on these additions. Jair Shorter from North Texas, 11 touchdown catches last year, 27.3 yards per catch last year. That led the country. They just added the guy that led the country in yards per. He had more yards per reception than Jalen Hyatt. So, I'm not saying he's Jalen Hyatt, but big play receiver. That's what we're missing at Auburn. Shane, they added Caleb Burton from Ohio State, another receiver. He was a number 160 overall prospect in the 2022 recruiting class. He just can't get on the field because Ohio State's so stacked at receiver. And we have seen that before at Alabama, and the guy, Jameson Williams, took the damn SEC by storm. Not saying, he's Jameson Williams, but this is a major upgrade too. They added a receiver from Jackson State just over the weekend. Shane, gotta love that name. Shane Hooks, 66 catches, 775 yards, 10 touchdowns just last season. Jackson State's a little bit lower level, but again, we don't need him to be number one receiver. Number 2, number 3, number 4. They just need weapons down there.
Right.
They will run the ball in this offense with Hugh Freeze as a coach. I think I'm dead wrong on Auburn, Shane. I think a big season, and you got to remember last season. I mean, these fans, awful team at times. They are fired up about Auburn football. They are willing this team to victories late in the season under Cadillac. These fans are dying for a winner. I think they got it, and the offensive line's completely rebuilt. They got an elite center from Eastern Carolina, 2 great tackles, one from Tulsa, one from Western Carolina. They had a Justin Rogers from Kentucky, a defensive lineman. Brian Beatty from South Florida, another talented running back. And just look at the schedule, Shane. I mean, the path to 8 is very winnable here. Non-conference, UMass, at Cal, Sanford, not Stanford, Sanford, New Mexico State. You should win all those. That's 4 right there. How about late in the season, Shane? Ole Miss at home, Mississippi State at home, at Vanderbilt, and at Arkansas. So those are not gimmies by any stretch, but you're getting majority of those at home. You do got to go to Arkansas. But hell, Shane, Hugh Freeze just took Liberty into Arkansas and won. Now, I realize KJ was hurt, so you gotta say that. But It would not stun me. Hell, Auburn has had. Of course, there's been some questions
Mike,
appreciating, but
you don't have to defend Arkansas. I mean, they could have been out of 10 players and still should have beat Liberty.
right.
But I'm just saying that should not have come down to, well, our starting quarterback's hurt. No, you're playing Liberty. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I think there's a lot of Razorback fans that like to have it on back. So, what's your bold take here again? 8 games?
I think 8-4, Shane. I mean, I would say at Texas A&M's a toss-up. Texas A&M could kill them, but hell, we've seen Texas A&M fall short. The only 3 games, Shane, that I think you should chalk up automatically to losses: Georgia at home, Alabama at home, even though I've already said they're going to win the Iron Bowl, and at LSU. So we just got to pull one upset here, Shane, and we're talking a 9-win season. So again, I'm not sitting here, take it to the bank, 9 wins, but I think 8-4. You sign up any Auburn fan year 1 with 20 incoming players. I think 8-4. I think you take it, and I think they'd be over the moon heading into year 2 under Hugh Freeze.
Mike, I'd be lying if I knew Auburn wasn't going to be on your list. You've been kind of hitting at it here the last week or two and trying to convince me, even pulling Pate in there, trying to explain who all transferred in. Yes, I think I get it. We get it. The listeners get it. Mike is in love with them Auburn Tigers. Hugh Freeze has been DMing him every night, making sure that we bring him up at least once on the show. So congratulations, Tigers. You're going undefeated and winning your – no, I mean – that would be. I mean, you talk about like LSU with how successful they were last season. Auburn potentially could be this year's LSU, is basically how I'm seeing it.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, Shane. I mean, with this transfer portal, some people complain about it and they bitch and moan, but it is giving good coaches the ability to bring in the right guys, plug them in. And we don't have to do 3 or 4 year rebuilds anymore. We can do, a 1 to 2 year rebuild. And maybe that should not be the standard across the board. I mean, it's tough winning this league, but Hugh has done it before. Auburn has done it before.
Yeah.
I think they can do it again.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of scary. It's like a sleeping giant with Hugh Freeze because, I mean, how can you not think about the Ole Miss days and that class that they signed down there? And part of you is like, man, that was pre-NIL. That's pre-Auburn pay, before you had an Auburn bank account. So right. I think, you've already seen it with the portal. Just wait till the recruiting. I mean, Auburn, they may have something here, Mike.